Hello, YouTube. I hope y'all having a marvelous Monday. A lot of people call it Manic Monday, but it hadn't been too bad. It hadn't been really manic. Today we're discussing Donald Trump. Hello, King Alan. How you doing, my love? We're talking about Donald Trump, his entire cabinet, Government Newsom. Donald Trump having a meltdown this morning. Newsom is talking about this big, beautiful bill, how much is affecting the American people. It is not helping us at all. It is hurting the American people. So that's what we're talking about today. We will also be discussing Elon Musk rant because he's going against Donald Trump in such a big way, but I think it's going to hurt him as well. Although he's coming in to tear down the man that we don't like, it is going to hurt Elon Musk as well. I have sunburn, so if y'all worried about that, it's healing some, but it's peeling. But to heal, it has to peel. So I put aloe vera. I went and bought an aloe vera plant today, and I put aloe vera all over my face, so it look a little greasy, but bear with me. So that's what we're covering, y'all. And we're going to even talk about a church deacon that is part of MAGA that did something cruel to children. We're going to dab a little bit into that. How Trump folds against the poster and Selzer. You know, he was trying to go against her. Trump, anything that Donald Trump does is not right, and you talk about it, he's going to try to sue you. And I don't understand America anymore because they are allowing Donald Trump to do all this craziness and destroy this country. And the Supreme Court justices that he has picked is holding his hand like a baby as if he has something to hold on him. Let me tell you something about me. I don't care what somebody say. They're going to tell on me. Before you can tell anybody anything, I'm going to put it out there myself. That's who I am. I am going to put it out there myself. Won't give you a chance to go run and tell that. No, I don't do that. So when I wrote my book, The Purple Cinderella, I put everything I ever done that in my book. So it doesn't matter. I tell my story from childhood up to adult. So anything I ever done in my life is in my book. So you don't get to go tell anything about me that nobody else knows. Hello, Alan. What's going on? I didn't get to go live at 5 o'clock because I was still in the grocery store. I went to purchase an aloe vera plant because I have sunburn really bad and I needed the aloe vera plant. So I had to come home and cut it open and plaster it on my face. So we're going to go ahead and get started. As you come in, hit that like button, please. Likes are free. I really be needing y'all to hit the like button because that's a way of showing me that you support me is by hitting that like button. Hit the like button, please. Also, if you want to support my channel, you can send me super chats and super stickers. And in my description, I have my Venmo. You can send me something through Venmo if you have Venmo. And my PayPal link, which is in the description as well, you can send me something through PayPal, through the PayPal link. Thank you so much. Thank you, King Bill Capri. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm a cougar, baby. I'm 51. I'm okay with being 51. I don't look 51. Body better than a 21-year-old. Yes, I'm bragging because I can do that because my body look good. Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for coming to my live. Thank you, King Bill. Thank you, King Alan. I love you, Alan, and you know I do. Just heard the owl form. Oh, Anna Lava took a plea deal. I didn't see that because I'm going to be honest with you, Alan. I've been watching them cover the P. Diddy case. And, you know, the verdict, the jurors is in trying to come up with a verdict for P. Diddy. I won't lie to you, baby. I'm sorry. I didn't get to watch that. I try to watch as much as I can of different news. But because I have to, my thing is covering Donald Trump, I mainly look for stuff for that, even though I get a headache sometimes from it. But that's what I do. So keep me abreast on that, please, King Alan. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I love you guys. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Please hit that like button.
Trump is having a meltdown at the start of the week on Monday. He's ranting and raving like a lunatic on social media. The disastrous budget bill has the lowest approval essentially imaginable, and Donald Trump's approval is basically the lowest in presidential history, and now the lowest he's ever had as well, which is the lowest in presidential history. Here's what Donald Trump is posting this morning. Not that it really matters, but a terribly untalented writer for badly
several
failing
writers in,
Forbes
Donnie.
magazine, Dan Alexander, who probably can't get a meaningful job in the business, has written so inaccurately about me that it is ridiculous. Just pause there. So if you believe that nobody reads Forbes anymore and that this guy is a bad writer who nobody cares about, why are you, as the president of the United States, making social media posts about him? Donald Trump goes on to say, many others also. The media is mostly fake news, but Forbes doesn't even try to get things right. I haven't spoken to these sleaze bags in years. They don't want the facts, and they're so inaccurate purposely about everything. I would have thought Forbes would be dead. He puts dead in caps by now. Always a normal thing for the president of the United States to wish people and things to be dead, but it continues to hang around like a bad disease.
Bill Capri.
Isn't it owned by a hostile nation? Anyway, that's what happens when you have bad reporters with evil intentions. Eventually, the publication dies. I've happily seen it over and over again! Exclamation point. That is what the president of the United States is posting. And I'll show you in a little bit as well that in Canada right now, David Eby, the premier of British Columbia, is basically telling the World Cup, hey, if you want, we think that things are probably going to be very unstable in the United States of how they're going to treat the fans of foreign countries. We're ready in the British Columbia to hold more games. It's a storyline I want you to focus a lot on, because I think that the World Cup and the Olympics are going to come under a lot of difficulty if Donald Trump is having a meltdown at the start of
the Olympics may not even come here, y'all, because of Donald Trump. Thank you for your kind comments. I love you guys. Thank all you beautiful kings and queens. But I'm going to be honest with you. I actually have sunburn. I went and brought an aloe vera plant and I plastered all on my face, the inside of it. So that's why I have such a glow. Thank you. That means a lot to me because my skin is so irritated right now. Thank you. And I love you for that. Yes. Donald Trump is talking about a higher tariff on Canada. He's mad because they didn't kiss the ring when he went to the summit. Nobody's going to bow down to Donald Trump. They are of high intelligence, and Donald Trump doesn't have high intelligence. Neither does his wife that has the Einstein visa, that should not have the Einstein visa. Donald Trump, he gets mad at the news because the news is reporting the truth about him. He says fake news because he knows that his platform, the MAGA maggots, is going to believe everything he says, and that is dangerous. So we're going to scoot on over to Gavin Newsom. Yeah. Gavin Newsom, I'm going to show you what it says, and then I'm going to read it to you guys, okay? Because I know it's not flipped on my iPad to you all. So I'm going to read it to y'all what Gavin Newsom has to say about this big, beautiful bill. And he says, the largest transfer of wealth to the rich in American history. Largest cut to Medicaid in American history. Largest cut to food assistance in American history. Electricity costs could go up by 30%. It's already gone up in Georgia. So millions of jobs could disappear. That has already started happening. It's going to get worse. So get prepared. I like to tell my people the truth. Get prepared. Millions of jobs, I read that. Billions of jobs could disappear. $4 trillion will be added to the debt that America already has. And what is happening? The rich is getting richer, and the middle class and the poor will become poor. If it's and MAGA, if you're okay with that, that's on you. We did not agree to that, nor did we vote for that. But you did. So when people keep saying that's not who we are, yes, it is. If you voted for Donald Trump, wherever he is, you are. Elon Musk, he's now going against Donald Trump, and I really hope something come of it. But he too will be hurt in the, he's going to have an effect from it as well. Because he was in on the gig.
Things are getting interesting, folks. Elon Musk is now threatening to fund primary challengers against Republicans who decide to vote for this disastrous budget bill. In a series of new posts, Musk wrote, "It is obvious with the insane spending of this bill, which increases the debt ceiling by a record $5 trillion, that we live in a one-party country, the Porky Pig Party. Time for a new political party that actually cares about the people. How can you call yourself the Freedom Caucus if you vote for a debt slavery bill with the biggest debt ceiling increase in history?" And then he tagged Representative Andy Harris and Chip Roy. Musk then wrote, "Every member of Congress who campaigned on reducing government spending and then immediately voted for the biggest debt ceiling increase in history should hang
They don't
their
care
head
about the
in
American
shame,
people.
and they will lose their primary next year if it is the last thing I do on this earth." This has the potential to cause a lot more chaos in this whole situation. I mean, now Republicans have to decide, do I appease Donald Trump or do I appease Elon Musk, who's threatening to take me out of Congress if I vote for this bill? We're going to keep following to see what happens, so make sure you're following our account and add the Midas Touch podcast right now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So things are getting
Subscribe to
interesting, folks.
Midas Touch Network on YouTube. They are a brilliant group of brothers that are doing their thing, attorneys. They know their stuff. They before worked on some things against Donald Trump in his first term. And these brothers are amazing. They're number one on Apple right now with their podcast. They are everything. They give me life. I like watching them because they're intelligent. MAGA don't like them because MAGA is not an intelligent being. No, they're just a cult. Lost information. So I'm going to show you guys one of the MAGA maggots that's a church deacon. And what this church deacon, Jerry Heflin of Georgia, did. He has pled guilty to child X crimes. He's a big Donald Trump supporter. Yes, he is here in Georgia, the state of Georgia. The things they be doing to children. A lot of the MAGA maggots are child X abusers. So when people go into church, don't let them fool you guys. That doesn't mean they're holy and with God. Just because you go to church does not mean you're a good person. Don't misinterpret it. I'm going to show you, then I'm going to read something to you. This is him. This is Jerry Heflin. He is a MAGA Republican. He likes to take advantage of children. He is a deacon in the church. So I'm going to read to you what this deacon has done. Jerry Dan Heflin, a 60-year-old former deacon at Unity Baptist Church in Sylvester, Georgia, pled guilty on June 19, 2025 to 3 counts of aggravated sodomy stemming from 2016 offense. Heflin, initially charged with 70 counts of child X crimes, including RAPE, felony aggravated child molestation, aggravated sodomy, and XUAL battery against child under 16. That's crazy. Received a life sentence. Thank you, Jesus. He received a life sentence with the first 22 years in confinement and in remainder on probation. What? Well, anyway, we know how that goes. He's a person that a clear person. Okay. The charges relate to allegedly sexual abuse of a minor, which shocked the tight-knit Sylvester community. Authorities arrested Heflin on May 7, 2024, following an investigation involving the Worth County Sheriff's Office. Y'all, it doesn't surprise me about MAGA. MAGA does things that shouldn't be doing. Children are the future. So why would you harm God's children? Can anybody answer that for me? Why would you harm God's children? You take away their innocence. I know about that. That's why I wrote my book, The Purple Cinderella, because I experienced it by multiple men. So I know what that young lady that was under 16 was experiencing. It had been happening to me from the age of 5 all the way through my teen years. So I know what that young lady has experienced. MAGA men, you're dangerous. I've been said it's nothing but a terroristic cult. That's what it is. Jesus be a will and a fence. But we're going to move along so I won't get in a sad mood. Thank you for coming to my live. Hit that like button as you're coming in, please. Hit the like button. I need your likes. If you like to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats and super stickers. Also, in my description is my Venmo. So you can send me something through Venmo, and my PayPal link is in my description as well. Thank you so much, Alan. I love you. You right, baby. You right about that. Amen. Free Palestine. I didn't see your question. I'm sorry. So we're gonna move along, and it's gonna be a little bit about Trump foes and a lawsuit against a pollster, because if he can't have his way and control the whole world, he go Looney Tune.
Just then, Donald Trump has folded big time in his lawsuit against the Des Moines Register and pollster Ann Selzer. So this whole lawsuit stemmed from a poll that was released before the 2024 election, a poll conducted by Ann Selzer in the Des Moines Register that said that Kamala Harris was ahead of Donald Trump in the state of Iowa. After the election, Trump then decided to file a lawsuit against Ann Selzer and the Des Moines Register, accusing them of election interference. It was a ridiculous and absurd lawsuit to begin with, clearly designed to just chill free speech. Ann Seltzer's lawyer had said that it was blatantly unconstitutional, and now we're learning that Trump has dropped the case entirely, and there has been no settlement whatsoever, according to Seltzer's attorneys. Here's the notice of dismissal. It says Plaintiffs President Donald J. Trump, Representative Marionette Miller Meeks, and former State Senator Bradley Zahn give notice of their dismissal of this action without prejudice, pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure. We're going to keep following all the news, so remember to follow along and add the minus.
That's why they call him Taco Man. He chicken out. He chicken out because we know the truth about the election. And New York is going to bring him down because they want to know how in the HELL did you win against Kamala Harris in New York and to have it put where she got not one vote from New York, when we know New York would have voted for VP Kamala Harris? There's thieves in the temple.
I don't know if anybody can text me, call me, signal me, nothing. I do nothing. And we walk in and my heart sank. Because the idea of starting a war, it just ate us in. And to sit and be one of 435 in the House, and to understand enough about the Constitution to the extent that I'm the one that's supposed to make the fucking decision, or at least get a vote.
I love her. I love Jasmine.
Like, I have talked to people.
That's a queen right there.
People have said things like, I feel helpless. I feel as if there's nothing that I can do. And here it is, I'm trying to tell people over and over and over, no, the power belongs to the people. But the reality is that my power comes from the Constitution. And it is clear that I have power. This little thing right here officially designates that I have power. And somehow, because we got a thug that's sitting in the White House, he has decided to ignore my power. Now, it doesn't mean that I wouldn't have arrived at the same conclusion. Chances are, I don't really feel like he and I are ever on the same wavelength. So chances are I probably wouldn't have arrived at the same conclusion, but to rip that away from me and to rip it away from the constituents that elected me, and to then decide, like, listen, Ben has been real nice. He said we stretching the Constitution. No, he said fuck it to the Constitution over and over again. And the reason is that there is a permission structure that has been created. This permission structure came at the point in which he decided that he was going to invoke the Enemy Aliens Act and declare that we randomly at war. And decide he just gonna start kicking motherfuckers out. Like that's what he did. It came when he decided that somehow we were in need of an emergency declaration as it relates to our economy so that he could start a tariff war. He allowed this. When I say we, it's the people that's in power.
Amen.
The reality is that our founders created a system in which none of this should be happening. But it is because people have decided to abdicate their duties. Yes. I didn't know if anybody could text me.
Y'all, everything she said, and I love Queen Jasmine Crockett because she tells the truth. She taking responsibility as well. But it is not her that did the damage. The person that did the damage is in the Oval Office wearing a diaper. The person that did the damage to the American people and continue to attack other allies of our country in NATO is Donald J. Trump. The person that have done all this damage and causing damage in other countries is the person that has 34 felonies. And he keeps saying we want to get the criminals out of America, but we got to start in the Oval Office. And if you want to get some immigrants out of this country, you got to start with the Trump family. Because his first wife was not a U.S. citizen when she had those first set of kids. Then he had kids with the second wife. She was a U.S. citizen. He had kids with the third wife, who was not a U.S. citizen when she birthed Barron. When she got pregnant with Barron and birthed him. This country has gotten to where it's the wrong is the right thing. And the right thing is wrong. That is the mark of the beast. And every day you walk around with that red MAGA hat on, you are walking around with the mark of the beast. And I don't see you. You don't exist. You are at the bottom of the trash can with Donald Trump.
This, Elon Musk is now attacking Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill publicly on Twitter again. The past hour, Elon Musk has said a number of things about this bill, but he started here saying the latest Senate draft bill will destroy millions of jobs in America and cause immense strategic harm to our country, utterly insane and destructive. It gives handouts to industries of the past while severely damaging industries of the future. And then he responded to a tweet saying that the energy provisions in the bill is so bad. He said, good question, who wants this? At the same time, the bill raises the debt ceiling by $5 trillion, the biggest increase in history, putting America in the fast lane.
Hey, Queen Victoria's one.
There's a lot in this bill that's
I love
terrible,
you.
but just a couple things here. A new analysis from the Nonpartisan Budget Office shows that Trump's bill will cut nearly $1 trillion with a T from Medicaid. We also just learned that this bill would cause more than half of nursing homes to cut staff, and more than 1/4 would have to close their doors. Donald Trump is literally
I've been told y'all this.
This big, ugly bill that Donald Trump is trying to pass will hurt millions and millions of Americans. This bill helps Donald Trump's billionaire buddies, but if you're a hardworking American, not so much. I'm going to go talk about this and more on my YouTube, my Spotify show, and my Substack, link in bio, but just insane. So get this, Elon Musk is now
I've been told y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to Harry's season on YouTube. I told y'all this a long time ago. What this king has said, it is going to affect the American people. Y'all grandmothers in the nursing homes, forget it. She out of there. MAGA, you're not rich. A vast majority of y'all don't have a lot of income. I saw what you look like, rotten teeth, 5 booty dudes and all. Your grandmother is going to be kicked out their nursing home, but you voted for this. So don't come crying and stop talking about black people not doing anything to help. We did our part. You felt glory and pride to walk around with that MAGA hat on. That's the mark of the beast. So feel proud that your grandmother's getting kicked out that nursing home. No Medicaid, no Medicare. Her food stamp is gone, baby. Enjoy the ride.
Serious news right now. Another death in ICE custody has been reported. Now 13 deaths that we know of since January of this year in ICE custody. A
fair use in educational purposes and great for research.
Custody of ICE, according to a new release issued by the organization. The cause of death is still unknown. He died in a South Florida detention center. He was being detained at the infamous Chrome Service Processing Center. He felt chest pain. ICE officials moved him to a local Florida hospital where he passed away shortly thereafter. The cause of death? Well, that's still unknown. But what we do know is that the Chrome Detention Processing Center in Miami, Florida, is known to be one of the worst in terms of conditions in the entire country. Another person has died. and not enough people are talking about it. So I will spread the word and follow along to update on all the news you need to know about. I'll have more to come soon. We have some serious news right now.
I've talked about this as well. Because they are brown people and black people, they don't care to give them the nourishment or their medical things that they need, medicine, while they're locked up. If it was a clear person, I guarantee you, and I stand on this, this is my opinion, Google and YouTube, I have every right to my opinion. MAGA maggots, kiss my grits. If they were black, if they were white people, they would have been treated differently. Because it's black and brown people, a vast majority are brown, they are being treated this way. Kiss my grits, MAGA. It's right and it's true what I'm saying, because you don't want to hear the truth. You're just like Donald Trump. You can't handle the truth. And that is not my responsibility to educate a big dummy.
Some big news right now. According to ProPublica, Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security secretary, secretly took a cut of political donations. This is significant.
These in the temple.
ProPublica is now reporting that back in 2023, Kristi Noem secretly took a cut from political donations to supplement her official government salary, which she was receiving as the governor of South Dakota. So she earned $130,000 as the governor of South Dakota. Well, the payment she received from these secret donations, an additional $80,000. And Noem never disclosed this to the public. Now, as ProPublica notes, there's nothing necessarily wrong with her raising money. What's curious here is why she would keep $80,000 for herself. Her lawyer says that she has complied with the spirit and letter of the law, but secretly taking a cut of political donations and not telling the general public, including your own constituents, well, that could be seen as a problem, especially given the fact that Kristi Noem has worn a $50,000 watch, had $3,000 in cash in her purse when it was stolen in Washington, D.C. Lots of questions. Spread the word and follow along for all the news you need.
Spread the word, because Kristi Noem, your time is coming, baby. It is coming real soon. So you got to go get all that Botox. I'm 51. I don't get any of that. You have to get those fillers, because we know what you look like beforehand. You were not attracted, and you're barely attracted down. Kristi Noem, that's called thieves in the temple, girl. The MAGA Republican Party are thieves in the temple. So, Donnie Boy is pissed about so many things. He's pissed because a federal judge rejects his attempt to dismiss Central Park 5 defamation suit. This is what's going to take you down, because you lied on these 5 people of color, 4 black and 1 Latino. He looked black anyway. He looked just like me. But anyway, this is the straw that walked the camel's back, Donnie, and you didn't get your way. So we know you've been pissing the pins mad the whole weekend about this, because the federal judge rejects Trump's attempts to dismiss Central Park 5 defamation. Where them fans at, y'all? I got me a new fan. Where them fans at? Hey, Donnie boy, you got dragged in you. Where them fans at? Hey, Donnie boy, go on with your pissy pins, because you're going to have to pay them. You're about to lose your job. What? You're about to lose your job. Woo! Donnie boy, in that pissy pins, that judge said, oh, Donnie, we sick of you in that pissy pins. You ain't getting your way today. No, you're not. The judge says he has rejected your attempt to dismiss Central Park 5 defamation suit. Donald Trump, hey, the devil come back to collect, baby. The devil come back to collect. Man, I don't care if you're mad putting ugly comments in my chat that's not true. I don't care about you being mad. You the one running around here with a red hat on, saying MAGA, the mark of the beast. That ain't nothing but the mark of the beast. And you're so dumb, he talked you into wearing the mark of the beast. And you didn't even realize you have given your soul completely to Satan. Jesus Christ is not in thee, not you.
It's out of control. You are spending like you don't have a budget. You're on the verge of running out of money for the fiscal year. You are illegally refusing to spend funds.
She's been using to get Botox and fillers
by this committee. You are ignoring the immigration laws of this nation, implementing a brand new immigration system.
Hit that like button, come on.
Little relation to the statutes that you are required, that you are commanded to follow, as spelled out in your oath of office. You are routinely violating the rights of immigrants who may not be citizens, but whether you like it or not, they have constitutional and statutory rights when they reside in the United States. Your agency acts as if laws don't matter, as if the election gave you some mandate to violate the Constitution and the laws passed by this Congress.
Lock her up!
You act as if your disagreement with the law, or even the public's disagreement with the law, is relevant and gives you the ability to create your own law. It does not give you that ability. Let's start with your spending. You are on track to trigger the Anti-Deficiency Act. That means you are going to spend more money than you have been allocated by Congress. This is a rare occurrence, and it is wildly illegal. Your agency will be broke by July, over 2 months before the end of the fiscal year. You may not think that Congress has provided enough money to ICE, but the Constitution and the federal law does not allow you to spend more money than you have been given or to invent money. And this obsession with spending.
Come on, give me some more likes, you guys. Come on.
The chairwoman mentioned has left the country unprotected elsewhere. The security threats to the United States are higher, not lower, than when before Trump came to office. To fund the border, you have illegally gutted spending for cybersecurity. As we speak, Russian and Chinese hackers are having a field day attacking our nation. You've withdrawn funds for disaster prevention. Storms are going to kill more people in this country because of your illegal withholding of these funds. Your myopia about the border, fueled by President Trump's prejudice against people who speak a different language, has shattered many of this country's most important defenses. The government is out of control. You are spending like you don't have a budget. You're on the verge of...
Girl, have you been out there getting your Botox done? Hey, have you been getting those fillers? Kristi, have you been getting those fillers? Kristi, I'm older than you. I don't get fillers or Botox. Kristi Noem, you in trouble, girl. And I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. Trump's entire cabinet of thieves in the temple.
He's not complaining. He's trying to sell you stuff. Have you noticed that? Who does that? You're running for president and you're hawking merchandise.
Trump runs a flea market in the White House.
$100,000 watch. Supposed to be Swiss watch, he says. The best watch. Why are you selling the watch? What are you doing?
He's running out of time.
My favorite is the Trump Bible. True story. True story.
And MAGA bought it.
It's embossed with his name right on it. Donald Trump edition, right next to Matthew and Luke. Donald. And I'll give you one guess where those Bibles are made. He's Mr. Tough Guy on China.
Just like his new phone.
Except when it comes to making a few bucks.
Made in China.
You cannot make this stuff up. When he's not complaining, he's trying to...
Obama, we need you to run for president for 2028. Hey, you got everybody vote if that's the case, because nobody wants this monster in the Oval Office anymore. He has made this country poor. This is what a real president is about. You could tell the difference in the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Look at the Democratic Party and the MAGA Party. But what they do today, they wear those red hats. They have taken off their hoodies and they wear the red hats. But I ain't scared of no ghost. This is what life is today. The Democratic Party, the party that fights for all, and the Republican Party are the biggest gang members and the biggest terrorists ever. One moment. We're going to talk about Elon's revenge a little bit. How much he can't stand Trump right now.
Former friend, who he had a falling out with, just came out and did a rare interview in which he describes Elon Musk's erratic behavior and says he thinks it will end the Trump administration, or at least Elon Musk will relentlessly
hit the like button, you guys. Come on.
The admin every single policy they pass, every single thing they advocate for, until he achieves his own end. I found this to be an incredibly interesting take, especially after Elon Musk has spent not only all month, just attacking Donald Trump and the admin, but over the past 24 hours, he's continued to escalate. Just yesterday, Elon Musk said this: the latest Senate draft bill will destroy millions of jobs in America and cause immense strategic harm to our country. The idea that Elon Musk cares about workers' rights is hilarious, but utterly insane and destructive. He says it gives handouts to industries of the past while severely damaging industries of the future. This is likely because he's mad certain EV mandates were taken out of the bill in a retaliatory manner after Donald Trump got mad at Elon Musk. I want to break down exactly how Elon could hit Trump where it hurts, but let's start off with this clip of Bernie Sanders explaining exactly how Elon Musk owns more wealth than the vast majority of the country combined.
We have more income and wealth inequality than we've ever had in the history of this country. That's just a fact. One man, Mr. Musk, owning more wealth than the bottom 52% of American families. The top 1% owning more wealth than the bottom 93%. You got CEOs of large corporations making 350 times what their workers make. And meanwhile, in this richest country in the history of the world, working class people are getting decimated today. And again, we don't talk about it in Congress for reasons that I hope I can get into.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it in the corporate media. 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Every single day is a struggle. How you feed the kids, rents, cost of housing in America off the charts, healthcare off the charts. My mother is ill. How do I afford prescription drugs? If you don't have $1,000, your car breaks down. How do you get to work? If you don't get to work, you get fired. You get fired, your whole life is disrupted.
How much different is that than past generation?
It's worse now, Joe.
What do you attribute that to?
Decades-old attacks on the working class of this country. I attribute it to horrific trade agreements, which have allowed corporate America to throw millions of workers out on the street and move to China, Mexico, and other low-wage countries. I attribute it to a corrupt political system in which billionaires have significant control over both political parties. The national minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. So you got millions of workers today, making 10, 12, 13 bucks an hour. How do people survive on 13 bucks an hour? When we were kids, or at least when I was a kid, you worked for a large company. You had something called a defined benefit pension plan.
They don't have those anymore.
When you retire, you're going to get X hundreds of dollars a week. That's long gone. Corporations have gotten rid of that. Half of all the workers in America have nothing in the bank when they face retirement. So I think, to answer your question, I think you got a rigged system controlled economically and politically by very, very wealthy and powerful people who could care less for working families. Now, I don't want to romanticize the old days because that would not be true. But there used to be a kind of a culture. If I was a boss and I ran a factory, I had a little bit of concern for you. In general, I would say, I know your wife, how's your mom doing and all that stuff. That's gone. You got these companies that are owned by other companies that are owned by supranationals. Huge conglomerates own the bloody world.
Amazon, Jeff Bezos, one of them.
The needs of working people. So I would say that the economy becomes less and less personal. You're my worker. I have no care about you because right now I'm owned by an international who doesn't know that you exist.
And there's also a diffusion of responsibility.
Absolutely.
It's not even in your hand.
I'm really glad that Bernie Sanders is entering these places like the Joe Rogan podcast and talking about policies that we believe in, explaining that Elon Musk owns a disproportionate amount of wealth. And when he leveraged that wealth to buy turn X into a propaganda machine, I guess it was Twitter when he bought it, and then he used that wealth to get Trump elected, we saw 40 different regulatory investigations in Elon Musk's companies paused or slow walked or dropped. He benefits from this corruption directly. Really quickly, I'm 22 years old, so I'm not supposed to be thinking about aging yet, but I am. I kind of overextended myself during the campaign cycle. As sons of highly accomplished men who married Venuses, were violent and lost their fortunes, and who were bullied in high school, we had a number of things in common most people cannot relate to.
This is about Elon Musk.
In LA. He then says Elon is not a Nazi per se. He is something much better or much worse, depending on how you look at it. Nazis believed that an entire race was above everyone else. Elon believes that he is above everyone else. He used to think he worked on the most important problems. When I first met him, he did not presume to be a technical person. He would be the first to say that he lacked the expertise. That happened later. Now he believes he has all of the solutions. He then goes on to explain how all this talk about getting to Mars to maintain the light of consciousness or talk about free speech absolutism is actually BS. Elon knowingly feeds people to manipulate them. Everything Elon does is about acquiring and consolidating power. That's why he likes far-right parties. And you can see this in the way he kind of like breeds, I guess you could say, children en masse. It's very odd. So this friend came out yesterday with a new post. Philip Lowe, an award-winning neuroscientist who partnered with the late legendary cosmologist Stephen Hawking as a test subject, learned the hard way in 2020 that Elon Musk was erratic as hell. Over a long hour interview, Lowe weaves something of a psychological portrait of his former advisor, casting him as obsessive, prone to seeking revenge. This is talking about Elon Musk, power hungry, and in constant search of dominance. He suggested Musk aims to explore every available avenue to establish competition with and ultimately overshadow bitter rivals. Lowe has known him for 14 years, but doesn't believe Musk has matured over time, and he's convinced he never will. Though the two continued to speak for years after Lowe fired him.
I don't care about all that. Hold on.
Carried a grudge in the two Democrats. I think Musk unloaded on the social media platform he owns by trashing the president's mega bill, floating support of a third party, chiding him for ingratitude, taking credit for his election win regarding Donald Trump, and even insinuating in a now deleted post that the records of the investigation to convicted offenders Jeffrey Epstein have not been made public because Trump is in them. You know, Trump joked about canceling Tesla and SpaceX contracts. It's an insane breakup, and I'm going to leave it there. If you appreciate the videos we make, drop a like, subscribe.
Please subscribe to Alan Mockler. He even is on Midas Touch Network sometimes. Everything that I show you is fair use, educational purposes, and great for research. And I am your entertainment.
In a world of rebellion.
My name is Michelle, and this is my new series, People Who Should Actually Get Deported. And first on my list is 52-year-old Joshua Bear. He was reported to the authorities by an app for having thousands and thousands of child porn. Yeah, and you want to know something wild?
These are MAGA
he doesn't
people.
even have to serve any jail time. Oh, please allow me to save you the time of Google searching all of this, and I'll read the article to you. A 52-year-old Fort Wayne man who allegedly told police he viewed child abuse materials because it reminded him of his youth, has accepted a plea deal that calls for no prison time. Joshua Bear pleaded guilty to possession of child porn Tuesday in an agreement that calls for a suspended 3-year sentence. For those 3 years, Bear would be placed on probation. It calls for a second possession of child porn charge to be dismissed. He is set to be sentenced on July 17th if Allen Superior Court Judge David Zent accepts the agreement. Can you even believe that they're trying to have an agreement?
I question that judge.
A detective allegedly located thousands of files of child porn and several thousand more containing child in Bear's Dropbox after receiving a tip from the file hosting service. But don't any of you worry. You want to know why? He was remorseful and disgusted with his actions when speaking to detectives.
White privilege.
Show. Oh, well, if you're remorseful and disgusted with your action, deported. Don't forget to like, follow, and share so we can let everyone know who the true...
MAGA is full of people that's into child porn. They get off on the sickest things. They are sick. They are full of disease. The mind of theirs are nothing but diseases. So this is something with Donald Trump, and he posted something on his True Social Twitter, and this is what he said. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to read it to you. Okay, old Donnie boy with the pen says, the Supreme Court won't allow us to get the criminals out of our country. I'm going to read that to you again. The Supreme Court won't allow us to get criminals out of our country. And Miss Betty says, yes, we know this. You still here. Donald Trump, you talk as if you don't have 34 felonies. You talk as if you're not a felon. You're a felon. You're the criminal in the Oval Office, and we're sick of you.
You're not talking about Elon anymore, are you?
This is about Donald Trump.
2,000 National Guard troops and now hundreds of Marines coming in to clean this mess up where there's been no injuries. It's so violent, yet there's been no injuries, except for injuries caused by the police. And yeah, a couple of cars burned or whatever, but that seems like a big response when there's no injuries.
Donald Trump in the EpiPen.
That doesn't sound super violent riot to me. I'll tell you what it does sound like. It sounds like nobody's talking about anything that was happening right before this happened, which was not good for the president.
Donald Trump in the
of the United
EpiPen.
States. Food for thought. Well, you're not talking about Elon anymore, are you?
Donald Trump in the EpiPen.
Yeah, 2,000 National Guard troops and now hundreds of Marines coming in to clean this mess up where there's been no
He
injuries.
started that war with Iran
so
to
violent,
distract from the
no
EpiPen situation.
For injuries caused by the police. And yeah, a couple of cars burned or whatever, but that seems like a big response when there's no injuries. That doesn't sound super.
Every time somebody mentions Donald Trump and Epstein, he does something to distract his followers. But he's not distracting me, and I'm quite sure you're educated ones in my chat, you're not distracted either. We still know what you was up to with EpiPen, Donald Trump. We have not forgotten about it. We have not. We know you are a sinister, sick individual. Elon is teaching us a lot every time he talks about you. More is being revealed what we already have known. So, y'all want to say that this lady right here, Ketanji Brown, she's on the cover of a magazine that I'm in. So y'all want to sit and talk about her, Charlie Kirk, that was given something, not that you actually educated enough for what you're doing. You're mediocre when it comes to the highly educated Black people. So this is what Charlie Kirk says about Ketanji Brown Jackson. She is a diversity hire. She is only there because she's a Black woman. No, 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 no. Her education swallows your little small brain. Both heads. Both heads. So this is what somebody responded to old Charlie Kirk that doesn't have the education that Ketanji has. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown. He said Ketanji graduated magna cum laude from Harvard. You dropped out of community college to cosplay as a fascist. Diversity hire is what racists say when Black women earn something they could never. Ketanji, Judge Ketanji Brown, is a Supreme Court justice. She's in this magazine, and I'm in this magazine as well. I'm in this magazine too. This is an educated Black woman that is a Supreme Court justice, and he gonna call her diversity. Your education, you're a dropout. You're a community college dropout. And she has several degrees. Charlie Kirk, sit your little ping self down. It's the size of your navel. All you doing is tickling someone. She might as well say, give me your tongue, baby, because your neighbor ain't doing nothing but tickling me. Sit down and learn something from Black women that's highly educated than you mediocre white men. I said it, and I mean it. The here go to this fool right here, Donald J. Trump. Let me show you that I'm going to read it to you. Hit the like button, please. Thank you. I love each and every last one of you beautiful kings and queens. Okay, so the orange man in the Oval Office. How Tupperware looks if you leave spaghetti sauce in it too long. They said that how this man's face look is when you leave spaghetti sauce in the Tupperware too long. With his ugly self. Donnie, you ain't never been attractive. And you like to call people ugly, fat. You everything that you call other women. What you call Roseanne Barr, that's you. Donald Trump, you fat and ugly. You call Roseanne Barr that, but look at you. You 300-some pounds. You're not even 6'3". You're a good 5'9", and you overweight. So we're going to talk a little bit about Mr. Barron Trump and Melania Trump. Melania, what's your education? Because you surely ain't got the education of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. You ain't got it, girl. Your education was on. So I'm going to show you that I'm going to read it to you. And Melania Trump was not that attractive when her and Trump got together. I hope I got that photo saved. She wasn't. She just was probably a super freak. We saw your news, girl. So when Barron Trump was born, Melania was not a U.S. citizen. Trump wants to end birthright citizenship. Let's start with his own family. Let's start with your wife that has an Einstein visa. Again, I'm going to read to you what it says. When Barron Trump was born, Melania was not a U.S. citizen. Trump wants to end birthright citizenship. Let's start with your own family, Donald Trump. Deport Melania and Barron.
I have 10 seconds left. But when they say illegal versus legal immigration, they are trying to end legal status in the United States as well. Correct, Governor Pritzker, with the end of TPS and making people undocumented by removing legal status, ending legal status.
They're going in the system and deleting your status.
When they were here documented, correct?
Taking students' visas away from people, taking their legal right to be in the United States away from them when they've been granted maybe years earlier to stay.
So I don't want to hear about how this is about illegal versus legal immigration. They are attacking legal status and removing legal status. The Republican majority is anti-legal immigration in the United States. And I want to make that very clear, and I yield back. I just have 10 seconds left. But when they say illegal,
the AOC, Queen AOC, she's right what she's saying. But you better start with your wife and your son, Donald Trump, because when she birthed Barron, the new pictures woman, she was not a U.S. citizen. And she has no qualifications to have an Einstein visa. So we must deport Donald Trump's wife and his child. You want Obama with a B, huh? We ready.
We have huge news right now. Senator Tom Tillis, a Republican,
hit the like button, beautiful people. Thank you.
Right now on the Senate floor, calling out those in the United States Senate, Republicans, calling on them to vote no on this budget bill, telling them that if they vote yes, Donald Trump is going to break his promise to a lot of Americans. This is stunning. This is Tom Tillis right now. He's a Republican. He says, what do I tell 663,000 people in 2 years, 3 years, when President Trump breaks his promise by pushing them off of Medicaid because the funding's not there anymore? The people in the White House,
the domino effect has begun, everybody.
The effect of this bill is to break a promise. He's admitting that this bill will cut Medicaid, despite what every other Republican is trying to tell you.
That's a Republican speaking about it.
A strong
He's
Republican
telling you what the Republican Senate has said.
He's calling out the White House. He's calling out Trump. He's calling out his fellow Republicans. The final vote on the budget bill will be tomorrow, so we'll see what happens next. Follow along for more. We have huge news right now. Senator Tom Tillis.
America, we're in danger, girl. We are in danger, America. Right now, the Statue of Liberty is walking back to over to Europe. We are in danger. Do you not hear me, American people? We are in danger. I didn't vote for the pig in the Oval Office. Hey, I got nothing to do with it. That's how I feel when it comes to Iran. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Black people and brown people ain't got nothing to do with it.
Right thing to do to turn the page on the future of a Democratic Party that does not continue to repeat the mistakes that have landed us here.
Preach, Queen, preach.
We will never get past Donald Trump if we continue to elect the same people and make the same decisions that got us here in the first place. And I will tell you, there are people out there that say if you go out and if you make this endorsement and if you do this, your political career will be over. And to that I say, I don't care.
I like her.
We will never get to a better place if everyone's just worried about themselves and making decisions that are selfish. If it's over, so be it. We have the decisions before us today. Is that they actually had a broad field of talent.
I like her because you can't be a follow the leader type of person. You need to go your own way and set your own standards and stand up for what's right. And what has happened with the Democratic Party, a vast majority of them are weak, afraid. I may lose my seat. Well, don't worry about that because we're going to vote the Republicans out of there because they are bringing the American people to their knees. They're taking away Medicaid. They're taking away your grandmother's nursing home. They're taking away the children's school lunches. They're taking away the food stamps from the American people. They're taking away women's rights, which they already have. They don't give a damn in about the American people. And they definitely do not care about women's rights. Project 2025 is what that bill is. That bill is Project 2025. Thank you for the super sticker. It's not showing who sent it. Hold on. Thank you. Whoever sent me the super sticker, thank you so much. The American people, we got to fight back. Next year in 2026, you better get in that voter's box and vote for what's right. Because when you voted against your own benefit by voting Donald Trump in, you see the calamity of a mess. It is. But because your heart has so much racism in it, you couldn't find yourself or bring it to yourself to vote for a black woman that was fighting for everybody in America. She didn't care about what complexion you were. She was there for you. When I went to her rallies, black, brown, Hispanic, Asian, white, Venezuelan, Italian, etc., etc. Everybody at her rallies were there to have a good time, and it did not matter by the race, what race you are. But because the MAGAs are so deep in racism, we cannot convince them till they have lost everything. And yet and still, they will not own up to. They voted for a man that doesn't care about the American people. They voted for a man that is the biggest criminal in the world. They voted for a man that has more felonies than Jeffrey Dahmer. So don't tell me that's not what you voted for. It is exactly what you voted for. You voted to destroy other people because they're not white. You voted to take away from people because they're not white in the whole damn time. You're hurting yourself. You voted to hurt your grandmother in a nursing home. You voted to take away your grandmother's Medicaid. You voted to take away her medication. That's what you did, MAGA, and you will pay the price. There's no way around it. Because that big, beautiful bill is to destroy America more than it has ever. More than ever. Everything I showed y'all today is fair use, but it's also to let you know what this country is becoming more and more every day. Every day under Donald Trump. Life under Trump is pure hell. Life under Trump is your grandmother easily being unalive because she doesn't have that medication. You voted for that. Life under Trump is every day your grandmother doesn't get her Meals on Wheels, which that's probably already gone too. Just like FEMA, gone. You people in North Carolina, the maggots, living up in the mountains, you hillbillies, FEMA, gone. Your homes are destroyed. But you voted for racism. That's what you voted for, baby. There's no flipping the script on it. You voted for a man that you knew you knew was being funded by the KKK. You voted for a man that you knew doesn't like black and brown people. But you are okay with it. And because you're okay with it, you too will burn, baby, burn. So you think you're going to hurt just black and brown people? Burn, baby, burn. Because right now you're suffering too. But what I like about being a black person, we can survive anything. There's nothing we can't survive because we're used to going without. And we know how to take something and make nothing into something. We can take nothing and make it into something. We can take a loaf of bread and a piece of cheese and do like Jesus Christ did to the 12 disciples, took one piece of fish and fed all of them. That's what I like about my people. And you ain't got it in you. It ain't in your DNA. You ain't got that melanin, baby. You ain't got it. You can't handle the truth. I love you guys. Enjoy your evening. May God continue to enrich you all. I pray for this country. I pray that you pray for this country for the better good, not just for the benefit of your skin. That's where you effed up at. And you had to fuck around and find out. May God bless all of y'all. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Also, if you have not purchased my magazine yet, please get you one. Queen Magazine. This is my magazine. I birthed this baby. On my community wall, you will see where you can click the link and make your purchases. Queen Magazine. And if you see what I said, I count it all joy. Yes, I count it all joy. I got faith in this country. I got faith in this country that we're going to get rid of that man in the Oval Office. I got faith in this country that he said, get the criminals out of this country. Okay, Donnie, let's send you to El Salvador. You're the criminal. You're the biggest criminal ever. You have 34 felonies. You show me a black man has 34 felonies. You can't. You can't handle the truth, MAGA. Goodbye.